OMG, Star Trek Discovery Season 4 trailer has just dropped. Time to get excited for more woke Hollywood product.
Today we seek to understand a threat like none our galaxy has faced before.
Oh wow, yet another unknown galaxy-ending threat on Star Trek Discovery. How original. Kind of like seasons 2 and 3 then. Now here we are again. The problem with continuously trying to do big, epic, the fate of the universe hangs in the balance against an unknown danger story is that it gets extremely tiresome and you can't keep doing it. When you've done 2 similar story arcs in the 2 previous seasons, audiences just can't muster the enthusiasm. The first 5 Trek shows understood this, which is why these kinds of stories were rarely done. Most stories on TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise were thought-provoking standalone episodes, often with a moral predicament and some kind of lesson to learn. Discovery just thinks the only way to grab people's attention is to do everything bigger. Bigger explosions, big effects, lots of money. The world is always about to end. It's too much. It's too much. It's super lazy. It's very lazy writing. It's very unimaginative. But it is a good way of hiding the fact that the writing talent and creativity is sorely lacking on this show.
What exactly is this anomaly?
We're not certain.
Oh, for bleep's sake. Do you see what I mean about bad writing? It's an anomaly, which means they don't know what it is, which is why they've categorized it as an anomaly. It's like, imagine there was a character on the bridge who said, "Captain, I've detected something I can't identify off the starboard bow." And the captain replies with, "Really? What is it?" It's a stupid question. They're unable to identify it. That's why it makes no sense to ask a question like, what exactly is this anomaly? It's anomalous. It's an anomaly.
Our ship was hit by something.
Together, we will meet this threat to our shared galaxy.
So this female character is apparently part human, part Bajoran, part Cardassian. And I believe this dude is the new Trek version of a Ferengi. At least I'm presuming he's kind of supposed to be like a Ferengi.
Until we understand the anomaly well enough to predict its path, billions more lives will be at risk.
Now, the fate of the universe rests in the hands of one man, Michael Burnham. But of course, this Michael isn't a man, as we know. It's a woman. I still cringe 4 years later that this female character is called Michael. And by the way, before the myriad of comments below say stuff like,
Dave, Michael can be a woman's name too, you know.
Yeah, I know, but let's be honest, it's incredibly rare, okay? It's not like Terry and Terry, or Jerry and Jerry, or Michelle or Michaela, which can also be male and female names. How many women have you ever met named Michael?
How dare you, Dave? My father's name is Michael. Also, my mother's name is Michael. My sister's name is Stephen. And my brother's name is Jennifer.
Not on our watch. Leadership is about balance. Your acts of bravery are huge swings of the pendulum.
Yet more constant veneration of the character of Michael Burnham. Never has a primary character of any of the other shows received such regular praise and been told how amazing they are, like they're the second coming.
And there is a very fine line between a pendulum and a wrecking ball.
It'll be bumpy. We could be destroyed.
We're totally gonna ignore that warning, aren't we?
Oh well, I've lived a good life.
Now, we all know that Star Trek has had diverse representation since the very beginning. But I mean, come on. Don't you think this show has gone a little overboard with the pandering to current year woke identity politics? Diversity is one thing, but deliberate underrepresentation of straight white men is another. How many straight white men are actually on this show? Can you count them? You talk about pendulums. Well, the pendulum is swung in favor of mostly female characters, non-white male characters, or gay male characters, or I just don't know anymore. What am I watching? Yet more cultural reflections of our socially engineered times.
With so much at stake.
Countless lives, futures.
Once we enter the anomaly, we are going where no one has gone before.
Again, the lazy writing of the stakes always have to be at the very highest possible level. All or nothing. This time the world definitely could end, guys. Until Saint Michael Burnham once again saves the universe, basically single-handedly, and then next time the universe really will be about to end. I promise.
Wherever we come from, whatever our experiences,
You got this.
You got this. You got this. Again, more contemporary dialogue in New Trek. We've seen lots of this on Star Trek Discovery and on Star Trek Picard. And listen to this speech by Burnham. The dialogue just doesn't sound natural. Everything on this show sounds like it was written to be used intentionally in a dramatic promotional trailer. It's always over-the-top, melodramatic dialogue. People didn't speak like this on the old Star Trek shows. This dialogue sounds like it was written by an angsty teenager trying to sound deep.
we're all in this together.
I gotta have hope that we'll find a way to stop it.
Oh my god, right now, I'm not crying. You're crying.
We cannot let fear define us in this moment.
Oh my god, it's so generic and just vomit-inducing. The dialogue is always trying to sound inspirational and highbrow. Constant speechifying. And the problem is, the reason the writers do this is because they don't seem to be actually able to write inspiring, clever, or thought-provoking sci-fi stories. So they just write dramatic dialogue instead. Take what Burnham is saying in this speech, and you could apply it to the first, second, or third season of the show. It's so generic and meaningless. Okay, we're all in this together. We cannot let fear define us in this moment. That could have been said about the 3 previous story arcs. It seems that they're trying to strike an emotional chord all the time with audiences, rather than an intellectual one, because everything nowadays is style over substance, feels over reels. That's why the character is constantly crying. Ever notice that? When she's not dramatically whispering her dialogue in a barely audible manner, she's crying.
Vulcan was one of the founding members of the Federation. They would never abandon it. Must have been the Romulans.
I can barely hear you. Stop whispering the dialogue. Anyway, she also cries quite a bit, like I say. I'm telling you, this is the kind of emotional incontinence that typifies the insecure, emotionally weak, special snowflake, image and ego-obsessed TikTok generation. That's why they're constantly telling us that Michael Burnham is the key to saving the universe.
I watched this office every day, believing that my hope was not in vain. And that hope is you, Commander Burnham.
And she was basically Space Jesus at the end of the second season. Not surprising, considering narcissism is rife in our culture these days. The writers on Star Trek Discovery have produced such utterly shallow and crappy characters that they have to keep telling us over and over again how great they are, in the hopes that maybe we might actually start believing it.
The future remains uncertain. But the captain in me knows anything is possible.
Again, yet more cliched, inspirational, speechifying dialogue that really is so generic, it could have been said about any of the previous seasons of Star Trek Discovery, or it could have been used in Star Trek Picard. It's absolutely meaningless. The words she's saying here don't tell you anything specific about this new story for the 4th season. You don't learn anything new. Now, what does it say about a show that the words of dialogue coming out of a character's mouth, the primary character, no less, are so meaningless that they literally could have been copied and pasted from previous episodes?
Ready when you are, Captain.
Let's fly.
More like, let's cry. You'd almost weep for this once great franchise. But let's be honest, Michael Burnham has probably beaten you to it. So that concludes my analysis of the trailer for the 4th season of the Michael Burnham show known as Star Trek Discovery. How this show has gotten to a 4th season, well, your guess is as good as mine.